anyway, I went there and I was going to take him out. And they said, oh, he just had a really bad seizure. He's not doing good, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, I don't think he had a seizure. But to be safe, okay, fine. They said, okay, you can come up and see him now. Okay, so they allowed me in his room for 2 minutes. I went in, I seen him, and he, oh, Mom, take me out of here to get me out, which that killed me. And I said, Jimy, listen, they said you just had a seizure. Please, let's just make sure that you're safe. Let's keep you safe and just get through this day. And he kept saying, one more day. That's all he kept saying, one day. He kept putting up his finger. I said, I promise you, I promise. I went in the next day to get him out. I said, I'm taking my son out AMA. I don't care. And the security downstairs said, get him out. Get him out. You're the mom. So I went up and there was 2 guys coming from this way. They said, oh, you can't take him right now. It's bad, really bad. And I said, wait, he had another seizure. And she said, yes. Oh, it was bad, terrible. And I said, no, he didn't. That's Korea. I said, did he straighten out his legs and he like for 3 or 4 seconds or whatever and straighten out his legs and move his hands like this? She goes, yeah. Oh, it was bad. I said, that's Korea. He has Huntington's. That's what he's been doing. That's how his Korea has been. And she's looking at me like I had 3 heads. She had no idea what it was. And so they were all like running around, go get the doctor. And the 2 guys that were there, they were taking him down for a brain scan. And I'm thinking, my God, if they had taken him down, they saw, what were they going to do? Because, and what happened, let me back up a little bit. The night before I had called and I told the nurse from the first night he was there, I said, he hasn't eaten today. He needs to eat, but whoever feeds him has to be careful because he will choke. You got to be careful and go slow with him. So the nurse says, oh, so he's on soft diet, you mean? And I said, no. I said, no, you know what? Yeah, put him on a soft diet. Let's be safe. Put him on a soft diet. The next day, and I had called and I asked, and they said, no, he's NPO. And I said, what are you talking about? He's NPO. The doctor put him on NPO, nothing by mouth, because to me, they didn't want to deal with him. He was still in the ER at that point, and they didn't want to deal with him. So he wasn't eating. Then they were talking about if they couldn't feed him about tubes and stuff. And Jimmy's told me from day one, he does not want a feeding tube. He, to this day, does not want the feeding tube. He's adamant about that. So they're talking about possibly that, you know, he's got to eat, he's got to get nutrients, he's got to, and I said, don't you touch him. Don't even touch my son with anything. The day I got up there and everything, and they called the doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, I'll be up there. And he didn't come, they were waiting. Finally, I said, where's my son? I'm getting my son. And I went to go to like towards his room, and they said, wait, well we're going to call the doctor again. So they called the doctor, and they're talking. She says, no, the mother's saying something about something with Huntington. I don't know. And I'm like, are you serious? So I said, Huntington's. He's got Huntington's. So the doctor finally came up. And when the doctor came up, I said, my son has Huntington's disease. What they are seeing is not a seizure. They are seeing Korea. Korea is a dance, is what they used to call it. And I gave him a whole lesson on Huntington's disease, which he even said to me at the end. He said, ma'am, I got to tell you something. I learned a lot from you today. He says, I've only seen 3 people with Huntington's. He says, and I was not even remotely thinking he had Huntington's. So he says, I'm going to sign him out. I said, you're not doing AMA. You'll sign him out because you're not treating him for the right thing. You're treating the Huntington signs, but you don't even know that it's Huntington's. They said, okay. So he signed him out. He didn't even sign him out AMA. I just got to say that, I guess when it comes to my baby, people say my New York comes out when I get mad. My New York busted out that day. It was really bad. And I started talking to him at the doorway, and the nurse was in there, and he wouldn't answer or anything. And I said, what's wrong with him? And I went in there and I pulled back the curtain, and he's out. He's out. And the nurse kept saying, you got to come back to get him. We can't get him up. We can't get him up. I said, what did you give him? But I didn't say it that nicely. I said, what did you give him? And they said, oh, we only gave him a little bit of, no, I forgot the medicine. But anyway, she said, we only gave him a little bit. I said, gave him a little bit? He's comatose. What are you talking about? Look at him. So we got him dressed. He never woke up. We got him in the wheelchair, dead weight. Took 3 of us, got him in the wheelchair, strapped him. My husband saying, we got to get a strap, and I said, let's just get him out of here. Let's get him out of here. I don't need a strap or nothing. So I held on to him and pushed the wheelchair. Never woke up for 2 days. He never woke up. I was told from a nurse, they don't want to be bothered with the patients. They keep them in that state. I'm glad I got my son out of there when I did. Because honest to God, I'm telling you, Katrina, Katie, I believe with all my heart, every bit of my heart tells me he wouldn't have made it. You had to see what he looked like. He looked like he was dying. I thought he was. I really thought he was going to die. We got him home. We got him in bed. He was just out. He was gone. He was like in a coma. And he was in such a bad state, And I just want everybody to know, if they have Huntington's, make sure you're on top of it. Keep on top of your loved one. Keep on top of the doctors, the nurses. So many people have white coat syndrome. They're afraid to talk to the doctor, afraid to talk to the nurse. They're afraid. Don't be afraid. That's your loved one. And when they're in there and they can't communicate, or they can't tell them the right things that they need or they want, you have to speak for them. It kills me that he had to go through all that. And I cannot stress, you have to, please just swallow your pride. You're scared, whatever, you're stressed, whatever. Talk to the doctor, talk to the nurse, get in there and be the mouth for these people. Be the mouth for your loved one. You have to, because these experiences happen. They happen in the hospitals. They happen in doctor's offices. I've had problems in doctor's offices and stuff. And I said, that's where we need to reach out and teach. That's where we need to get to, is the doctors and the nurses, because they don't know.
Thank you so much, Deb and Jimy, for coming on with us. Anyone who knows Deb and Jimy knows Deb has given up her whole life for her son, and her huge love for her son, and wanting to sit by his side through the whole thing. And she's dedicated her whole life to make all of his dreams come true. And it's amazing what they have done. And they have crossed off his bucket list. And it's been an amazing journey to watch it and see Jimy smile all along the way. And Jimy says his mom's his best friend, and she stood by his side through thick and thin. And they are definitely an amazing pair for awareness and to show people how to live the best that you can with Huntington's disease. So we appreciate both of you so much and love you both so much. I think that will do it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel below, and ring the bell for notifications when videos like this are released. Till next time.